On today's show, we look at how a local small business reacted to a potential ban on TikTok. And we also look into a fire that caused the temporary closure of a local food pantry. And finally, we look at one athlete who has taken 3 sports in her senior year. These stories and more on this edition of Hilltop News. What's rockin' Rock Nation, and welcome back to the 14th episode of Season 5 of Hilltop News. Live from Studio 1060, I'm Cambria Hess.
And I'm Maxwell. We
have a great show in store for y'all today, starting with Max, catching you up on everything going on around the hill. Max?
Thank you, Cambria. This past weekend, cheer competed in the National Cheerleaders Association competition in Dallas. They won first place out of 10 teams in the intermediate crowd leading division.
It was the best feeling. It felt like I was on top of the world, and I was just so proud of us because we put in so much work and a lot of practice time, so it felt like everything that we did was worth it.
Speaking of electives such as cheer, course selection closes tonight by midnight. Students, make sure you choose your courses on Skyward and have enough credits for next school year. Seniors and students graduating this year are welcome to come to the FAFSA workshop tomorrow from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Make sure you and your parent bring your FSA ID, which needs to be set up prior to arriving.
The uprising topic of a potential TikTok ban has created concern for people who depend on the app to influence their career. Brian Tejas spoke with a local boutique, Lily Claire, about what this could mean for her business.
TikTok.
Ban on TikTok.
With the TikTok ban looming in the air, the uncertainty creates concern for a future without the app. Lily Claire, a clothing boutique located in downtown Prosper, founded in 2020, brings a boho vintage style and a growing face on social media.
I mean, my first reaction was, of course, personal, because I do love TikTok. And TikTok, for our store, it's not as important for Instagram as far as selling, but it's where I do get a lot of inspiration. It's where I get a lot of ideas to do, TikToks or Reels. It's where I find out about brands. I see what people are doing. So it's for me a big source of inspiration. So I was really upset.
Whether it's posting an outfit of the day or a styling tip,
can you mix plaids? Absolutely.
Becky has found reach in her community. Morris collaborated with the Rockettes to bring future customers, both having an important tie to social media outreach.
Social media is definitely an important aspect to both of us, for us to be able to share our information and for her to get her shop out there to get people to come. So us, people know us at the school, if the Rockettes went there, people are more likely to see it and be able to oh, I want to go shop there. So it's a good way to get it out there to bigger audiences.
Through TikTok, Morris has learned the importance of marketing herself correctly to maintain a cohesive brand.
I think that's really important. People want to see a face with a brand, and hopefully when they see Lily Claire, they think about me.
Social media marketing teacher Shalita Snoddy realizes the ban effect goes far beyond the classroom, specifically worrying about small businesses who depend on the platform to grow.
For instance, there's an 80-year-old man who writes, but he doesn't sell a lot. His daughter posted him on TikTok, and now he sold thousands of books. And so there's so much good that TikTok does for a small author like this 80-year-old man. It changed his life.
Morris states that her using TikTok is just more than showing an outfit, but to, quote, have something that will hook someone's attention into getting more views. With the app being restored and running, she plans to continue working with the algorithm and growing her presence, but is confident in her Instagram following if TikTok gets banned. For Hilltop News, I'm Brian Tejas.
You can find all of Lily Claire's content by searching @LilyClaireStyle on Instagram.
Due to the Trump administration enforcing stricter immigration laws, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Police, ICE, have already arrested over 84 illegal immigrants in the North Texas area. Speaking of immigration control, the Pentagon has announced that about 1,500 troops have been sent to El Paso this past Thursday to provide transportation for troops and secure the southern border with wire barriers. And in similar news, Google announced on X this past Monday they agreed to soon change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America when President Trump's executive order goes into effect.
On Saturday, January 18th at 9 p.m., a fire broke out in a suite next to the Neighbors Nourishing Neighbors food pantry near the intersection of Hayes Road and High Point Drive. Fortunately, no one was injured in the incident. While the cause of the fire is still under investigation, the pantry suffered significant water, fire, and smoke damage. Toshri Pospalady looked into the recovery process.
I got a call from Sarah.
Neighbors Nourishing Neighbors is the only food pantry located in Prosper that serves over 300 families across Collin, Southern Grayson, and Eastern Denton County who experience food insecurity. Currently, the pantry is battling limited supplies and facilities for its operations due to the fire.
I was heartbroken. You know, when we're providing the service for our neighbors, you get to know them on a one-on-one basis. And not having the ability to put food on their table for the seniors, for the babies, the families, I was just absolutely heartbroken.
N3 was able to salvage some of its food items and gather donations from community organizations such as the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in order to continue their food services.
So we were able to make a phone call and get a semi-truck of food shipped in from Salt Lake. And they came, Salt Lake City, Utah, and they came first thing this morning at 8 a.m. and they dropped off 24 pallets of food, or about 1,400 boxes of food. We love our community, and we love to serve in our community, and we're just so happy that we can help and that we can help N3 with their mission.
The pantry is currently functioning from temporary storage locations while they're searching for a new permanent location in close proximity to the families they serve.
You could have something today and it's all gone tomorrow, and we know that. And so, like I said earlier, we are so blessed. We know this is a blessing. We know God has a purpose for us and a reason why this happened. We don't know what it is, but we're going to certainly capitalize on that and make sure that we do even a better job of serving our neighbors with food insecurities.
The pantry remains hopeful that they can continue to serve the families in their community and are looking towards implementing further safety measures in the future. For Hilltop News, I'm Toshri Pospalady.
Due to the temporary closure, the pantry is currently not accepting any food donations. But if you would like to contribute to the cause, text N3FIRE to 50155 to donate funds towards the recovery process, or visit www.n3foodpantry.org to volunteer. Over the last week, we have had a lot of action going on around the Hill, and Aliyana Sanchez is in studio to fill you in. Allie?
Thank you, Cambria. Looking at basketball, our girls and boys played at home against Plano East, with the girls winning 49-43. Kenna Kuscholtz had 16 points, Sophia Reed had 13, and Isabella Rosa had 12. This next game against Plano has huge playoff implications on the line. If we beat Plano, our girls make the playoffs. However, Plano just came off with a win against Plano East and are going into their last game against us. This means that both teams are super electrified and ready to play some basketball. Be sure to show up Friday to support our Blue Hawks. The boys looked to continue with the girls' energy, but ended up losing their game 46-97. Moving over to soccer, our boys and girls kicked off against Prosper last Friday at the stadium. Our girls had a close defensive game, but were not able to close it out, letting up a late goal that ultimately ended the game for our Blue Hawks. Our girls went on the road for their next game against the McKinney Boyd Broncos last night, where they were tied 1-1 at the half. However, they could not keep the fight going and got outscored in the second half 1-3, leaving them with a final score of 2-4. This puts them at an overall record of 5-4 and a district record of 1-4. Our boys took the field against Prosper, playing a tight game. After one half, it was a scoreless in the stadium. However, the Blue Hawks pushed down the field to score the first goal of the game. Unfortunately, they couldn't keep up the momentum going and letting up 2 more goals before the end of the match. They left with a 1-2 loss against Prosper. Their next matchup was against the McKinney Boyd Broncos, where they had a tough fight but ultimately ended up with a disappointing 1-4 loss. This puts them at an overall record of 3-4-1 and a district record of 0-4-1. Coming up this Friday, wrestling has their district tournament at Plano East. In varsity's last tournament in preparation for districts, we saw Faith Boyd, Lily Jukes, Zakiah Burke, and Xander Bates placing first. Lucy Vega del Alarncar, Habi Autogon, Zeke Kelly, and Gabe Nerzazan placing second. Ethan Flom and Carlin Musquiz placing third. They also had their senior night duels last week, where our teams took on Wakeland, Wanna Grove, and JJ Pierce. With members of our swim team qualifying for regionals next week, it is a busy time for our winter sports. No one more busy than senior Kiani Rodriguez, who has taken on multiple sports throughout her high school career. Chris Gamardo takes a deep dive into her story.
While most athletes stick to one sport, one student takes on 3. Juggling practices, games, and schoolwork, Kiani Rodriguez navigates the challenges of being a multi-sport athlete.
I feel like I'm able to try new things and learn new things while also pushing myself past the limits, carefully, obviously, safely. But I think I find a lot of joy in that. So that's what I learned.
Jumping from cheer, aquatics, and being the only girl on the hockey team while all maintaining a tight schedule can be a daunting task.
Kiani's strength is that she's very positive-minded. We talk a lot in athletics about how it takes not just your athletic ability physically, but also whatever you're bringing mentally to the table, right? So she's able to kind of harness that mental capacity, I think, to put a positive spin on any sport that she's doing, which helps her to be successful.
Allowing herself to be open to different environments has been a big part in her journey to being successful in her day-to-day life.
Her dedication is something else. She's grown more aware of herself, of how good she does and how she plays on the ice or in water. She's really good at looking at herself in a good light.
Kiani has taken her senior year to the next level, diving into multiple sports that have challenged her to be her best and will continue to fuel her future. For Hilltop News, I'm Chris Gamardo.
You can support Kiani in the next hockey game on Sunday at 4 p.m. in Children's Health Star Center, McKinney. That's all our Blue Hawk sports. I'm Aliyana Sanchez. Now back to the desk.
Well, that's all we have for today's show. For Hilltop News, I'm Cambria Hess.
And I'm Maxwell.
Keep rocking, Blue Hawks.